Okay, let's see how vlogging goes. I haven't done it. Let's see. History. One of our family traditions was always going oystering on Memorial Day. We'd go to Kids at Memorial Park and do oysters. I would sit down on the beach and shuck oysters and eat a bunch of them, and then we'd have a big, huge oyster feed with fried oysters. We did this for many years, even when the kids were growing with the grandkids. But I don't live in Washington anymore. I now live in Utah and have been here for 17 years. And my sons have, for my birthday, have sent me oysters. I'm not sure who sent them this year. It doesn't say on the box, but maybe it does on the inside. I always have my oyster kit. It's my little fanny pack. It's got a glove and an oyster knife, and an extra oyster knife, and an extra glove. But anyway, let's open the box and see what kind of oysters we got. Maybe it'll tell us on the inside who sent them. Box of oysters. Let's see what it says. It doesn't say who it's from. Calls it Sailor's Valentine, 20 count. Oh, there's a card. Happy birthday, love, David. So it's from my son, David. Has a little oyster. Ooh, cute little oysters. Let's go see how they taste. Okay, here are the oysters, and let's put the glove on because oysters are sharp. Now, my son Jim used to be the one that would send me oysters, and then David started, but I like oysters, so let's see how these taste. I don't know. So you just do this. Just got to get in there, get to the mussel, cut the mussel, and then you've got an oyster. And usually like a little bit of water. And cut it off. And you'll slip them down. This version is really salty. Sometimes you don't quite get it all the way. They're kind of clear. I haven't had this oyster before until this one, this type. So I usually eat their Pacific oysters, but Olympics are really good. And I've had a few others, some Japanese oysters that are really good. This one's being stubborn. Water running is kind of annoying. Too noisy. Okay. These are nice. If you're going to eat them raw, you really don't want big ones. And personally, I think big oysters, the only thing good for big oysters is oyster stew, which I like too. These don't taste like any other oysters I've ever had. They're really salty. I don't know if that's the way because of where they were raised or if it's the type. And I'm assuming that since it said on the label American Valentine, that's the brand these are, or the type of oyster. I haven't heard of that type before. They're still good oysters. Sometimes you get a little bit of shell. It's not good to go all the way like that. You usually just want to kind of break the hinge and open it up a little bit. They're better if you rinse them a little. That's kind of a nutty flavor. A little bit of copper aftertaste. Come on, let go. There we go. Really good. Okay, that's quieter. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Always reminds me of Alice in Wonderland and the walrus and the oysters.
Oh, oysters, come and walk with us the day.
These would almost be too small to cook up, but they're good for eating. Well, I have to admit that the first taste of these wasn't something that I thought was really good, but after I learned to rinse these off, get rid of that hot, really salty taste, they have really good flavor. And I just like oysters. When I would do them on the beach, and the limit was 15 oysters per person, we'd take down little paper cups, and I would shuck the oysters and put them in paper cups, and then each person whose limit we decided it was, they would take the paper cup up to the campsite, so make it legal. But I never counted my limit because I used to eat about every other oyster on the beach, because oysters are good. I first learned to eat raw oysters on the beach in Boy Scouts. My father was a scoutmaster at the time, and we went to San Juan Islands rabbit hunting, and we'd camp on the beach, or camp in a campground that was on the beach. And I'd go out and there'd be oysters on the rocks, and I'd take my trusty scout knife and we'd dare each other to eat raw oysters off them. And I learned that they're quite tasty. So, oysters. Interesting. At one time, here in America, when the Pilgrims first came, oysters plentiful, and they would it was kind of a poor food. I wonder if that's why they call them poor boys when they make sandwiches with oysters. You love?
Yeah.
These are quite good.
Oh, good.
You want one?
No, thank you, dear.
I'm amazed that a lot of people don't like raw oysters. Might be the texture. The flavor is unique. Yeah. There. I think one of the foods of the gods.
Is that what you are?
So, I don't think you want to see me eat all the oysters, and I've eaten most of them already, so I think I'm going to stop it here. Bye.
You turn it off?
Okay, I finished my oysters, and this is all the shells that are left. I saved the shells because At some point, I would like to have a saltwater aquarium, and one of the good bases is crushed oyster shells. It helps keep the calcium level in the water correct. And I just keep them out here. And the side, here's all my other oyster shells from previous times. Actually, it's not all of them because some of them got thrown away. I wasn't saving them. But someday in the future, I might get myself a 100-gallon saltwater aquarium if I could figure out where to put it in my house. My fruit trees are blossoming, which is nice. My grapes over there. But I think I'm going to end this now. So, bye.